Hi, my name is Jim Corr. My fellow countrymen and women, as you well know, we've got a major problem. I'm not sure we fully realise that these further bailouts and the imposition of budgetary austerity measures are going to result in the further impoverishment of our dear country and its citizens. You may not agree with all of my views, but I came out and I told the Irish nation the truth as I see it on a number of issues. I warned people that based on historical fact, I believe this financial crash to be engineered, designed so as to effect a corporate takeover of not just our own country, but many countries. When I campaigned against the Lisbon Treaty, I warned that the agenda was the gradual erosion of our national sovereignty. Now we have our budgetary policy being dictated by Brussels. We can no longer call ourselves a sovereign nation. I told the Irish people the agenda was the creation of a one world currency. We now have that in the form of both special drawing rights and the Banksters. I believe I've been vindicated on many issues, not that it makes me feel any better, it's cold comfort. Some elements in the media may continue their ad hominem attacks on me, I can take it, but bear in mind an attack on me is an attack on the free-thinking people of this country. Anyway, let us all put our differences aside and come together for the sake of our children. Our country is under predatory economic attack, an attack as potentially devastating as conventional warfare. Ireland is currently in the forefront of this war, affecting other European countries also. Once this nation capitulates, they will move on to do the same to the other European nations. What we are witnessing, I believe, is a top-down engineered financial crash, cleverly designed so as to shear the wealth from the masses and to cripple our country and others under inescapable debt to an extent that we've no choice but to sell off our national assets, state agencies and natural resources, essentially to the same people and their proxies involved in this clever scam. I hope we realise just how devastating this is going to be if we let it happen. The ultimate aim is to gut our country of everything of value. Please take the time to study this further by watching the documentary Money as Debt on Google Video, or by going to the financial crisis section on my website. The root of the problem is that the issuing power of money is in private hands. The privatisation of monetary control will always, always, always benefit the privatisers and not the people. We should be printing our own debt-free currency. Through an expansion or a contraction of the money supply in the system, the people behind the money-issuing central banks of the world are able to move a great many people between prosperity and poverty. You must be asking where the money went. Money doesn't just disappear. It got transferred into the pockets of an elite. For their own selfish predatory ends, booms and busts are engineered by characters we refer to as the elite international bankers. Not every banker is in on this scam. Most are simply doing their job. This is orchestrated from the top down. We need to realise that on one level the system is functioning perfectly to the benefit of an international banking cartel at the expense of millions and millions of people. The inflationary-deflationary monetary system is set up to ultimately benefit only those at the top controlling the system. If we let them, these same elite international bankers are not going to stop until they've got undisputed control over the entire wealth, natural resources and manpower of the entire world. It is going to take a global peaceful revolution to stop them in their tracks. Whether our own government is brainless or corrupt, they most certainly are not acting in the best interest of the Irish people. Our government has already presided over possibly the second greatest act of theft in our history, where at least 34 billion euros and rising of taxpayers' money has been transferred from we the people to the private banking corporations. The greatest act of theft in our history has to be the gifting of trillions of euros worth of gas and oil off the west coast to Royal Dutch Shell, again by corrupt ministers in our government. The nationalisation of that oil and gas would solve our financial problems practically overnight, but no, our government is deciding to go a different route, which will leave our children submerged in debt for generations to come. Draconian welfare, healthcare and pension cuts, etc. are about to be imposed upon the Irish people due to what can only be described as a sophisticated financial scam. The cost of fuel continues to rise and the general cost of living is not reducing. How can people be expected to survive in this situation? My dear people, we have got to take action. The level of apathy, abdication and despondency amongst the Irish people is shocking. Some people appear to be more concerned with what's happening on X Factor or Coronation Street than they are of their own country and where it's headed. Both Greece and France cannot believe our inaction. What is happening to the Irish spirit? I am asking that the Irish people unite as our forefathers did and take to the streets to voice our anger and concern over the actions of our politicians and what is happening to our country. This must be done peacefully. Violence will only play into the hands of an elite who will use it as an excuse to initiate a crackdown and to impose draconian police state measures. South Koreans peacefully protested the importation of growth hormone contaminated beef and the fines being imposed upon them by the World Bank for not doing so. They won, but it took shutting down the capital for 7 days and 7 nights. I appeal to the police and the Irish Army that you will ultimately side with the people of this country when the time is right. Your own children's futures are very much at stake here as well as everybody else's. Peaceful mass non-compliance is the only way forward. It will be assumed that anyone engaging in violence will be provocateurs. They will need to be gently pushed by the crowd towards the police lines and handed back. I'm asking that the media, journalists, editors and the owners properly side with the people of this country. I'm asking that the farmers and fishermen join with us. They, more than most, have already felt the harsh bite of the EU to the detriment of the future supply in this country. I'm asking that we join with the unions who will already be there. I'm asking that lorry and bus drivers join with us. We may need to shut down the capital for an extended period of time until we are listened to and until the necessary citizen-benefiting changes are made. I'm asking that politicians of integrity join with us. I'm asking that all the people of this country join with us in a march to the GPO. We have given our power away and now it's time to take it back. There is another way. Here are our solutions. We mainly need to follow Iceland's example being, we need to default on the debt because the debt is a scam anyway and it's inescapable. Money issuing central banks create money literally out of thin air through the fractional reserve system and then charge interest on it. We need to say no to the EU, the IMF, World Bank. They are merely a front for the international bankers. We need to get out of the EU and back into the European Economic Area and restart the setting of our own monetary policy. There will be pain for a while, but at least we'll be securing a future for our children. We need to take back the issuing power of debt-free money. We need to nationalise our natural resources. They belong to the people of this country. We need to install people of integrity in our government, people who have only got the best interests of our citizens in mind, not their own self-interest. Politicians in Ireland have contributed greatly to the current problem, but politics as a process has made a more significant contribution, and we need to find a new way of process in order to regain a healthy and decent quality of life. For the sake of our children and our grandchildren, please let's unite and take action. Let us all in time be able to look our grandchildren in the eyes and say we tried our very best. Let us walk together in solidarity to the GPO Dublin, assembling at Quay, Dublin at 11 a.m. Saturday the 27th. It's a start. Please do everything you can to make this video go viral immediately by sending it to everyone you know. Thank you.